first thing I want to tell you is that we want to record this online meeting to use it for our dissemination. So we will put a recording of it on YouTube, and we will also use snippets of it for our Facebook dissemination. And what you can do is you can switch off your camera or change your name in case you don't want to be recorded. So I told you that. So now we can officially start with our 6th open community meeting. We're very happy that you're here. And for those of you who don't know the DIGY project, we are an Erasmus Plus project, and we want to make digital youth participation as easy as possible. And one element of our activities is that we organize these community meetings where we discuss what we feel are the most important topics around e-participation for young people. For example, we had one session on how to activate young people. Then we had another one on effective network building. And today we will talk a little bit about how to disseminate results, and also how to really reach your target audiences. So yeah, and we always try to bring in our expertise from different localities into the meeting. And the idea in general is to really establish a peer-to-peer exchange and a community. So we're super happy that you are here today. And I saw quite a number of not so familiar faces. And what we can do is that we just write our name and our organization and which country we come from into the chat. You can also add your email and maybe just one little sentence what your link to e-participation is. And that way we can do a little bit of networking. And yeah, so you're very welcome to do that. And now that I have done the introduction, we can actually jump right in to the topic. And today it's about involving young people in the participation process and communication across target audiences. And Ingrida Jotkaite, who's a partner of the DIGY Consortium and who is in charge of our dissemination, she will give us a little bit of an input and tell us 5 tips about how to involve young people and communicate more effectively. And I'm very happy, Ingrida, that you're taking over this task, because we've learned that this is really one of the most important things. It goes hand in hand with activation. And yeah, thanks a lot in advance. And now I suppose you want to share your screen, right?
Yeah, I would like to have this right.
Yes, I will grant it to you. So I will stop sharing my screen.
Okay, so good morning. My name is Ingrida. I work in Creativitas Association. We are a communication partner in this project, and we usually work with international projects, with communication, dissemination, and marketing tasks. Personally, I work as communication and marketing specialist, and I also I am a part of Eurodesk network, which is European Youth Information network for young people and also those who work with youngsters about mobility and learning opportunities. And I started my path, I would say, in this journey 15 years ago as peer educator. So I really love communicating with young people and looking different ways and trends, how communication changes in years with new channels, with new digital tools and so on. And today I prepared a short presentation. I decided to share 5 easy to understand tips and maybe give you a little bit insights from my practical work I do from my daily basis that I noticed in the youth field, and also combining a little bit marketing experience, because at first I started as a communication officer, but now I am going deeper into marketing strategies, and I see how it's necessary to bring business tactics also in our field. So I'm sharing my presentation. Yeah, can you see that? Yeah, good. And actually, I would like to start with a question. What do ants like? How do you think?
Sugary food.
Sugar, yeah. How about others?
Their queen.
Sorry?
They like
Their queen.
The queen, okay.
They like carrying stuff and running around.
Yeah.
For food.
Yeah. Okay, good. Actually, the first answer was the right one, sugar. I tried to a little bit provoke you with this illustration, because if you type ants and something sweet in Google, you can get usually ants and sweets, ants and cakes, and all candies and sweets. But actually, one person did a research that ants like not sweets, cakes, but particularly sugar. And it doesn't mean that if we talk about sweets, candies, cakes, and so on, that ants would like that, because we have sweets that has no sugar inside that. And the same question I would like to raise about e-participation, because today we are talking and focusing more on this topic. Do young people need e-participation, or do young people, I don't know, know about e-participation? And I would say that the answer would be, of course, yes. But it comes from us, people that already know what e-participation is. And if we ask young people, do you know what e-participation is, or what is the difference between participation and e-participation? I believe that here would be a little bit of silence, or maybe a negative answer would come. Why? Because young people actually need and would like to get many different things. Like, for example, they want to be heard, they want to be voiced, especially those that have leadership skills, that are active in youth organizations and so on. Young people usually want to learn new things, get new contacts, meet interesting people, and many, many different things. And I'm preparing for one session with national agencies about European programs, about Erasmus Plus and Solidarity Corps. And I started doing my research and monitoring how so far different institutions communicate about these programs. And I noticed that number one message is take part in this program, and that's all. And this message works with people that already know Erasmus Plus, that they already know different opportunities they can get from this program. But for these upcoming 7 years, also European Commission would like to involve more people that have no experience with Erasmus Plus, or organizations that are a little bit shy or afraid to apply and write different projects. And then I think that, you know, the message take part in absolutely doesn't work, attracting new people or new organizations. And usually what works is that you should offer or sell those needs that people are expecting. And then I say connect e-participation with young people needs. I usually mean those soft needs, like new experiences, something to learn about, take part in new initiatives, activities where young people can find new friends, that they can learn, enhance their, I don't know, CV, career, and so on. Not necessarily communicating that e-participation is the best tool, you know, to be active in democratic world or so on. So number one tip is sell emotions and experiences. And why emotions in marketing? Usually then you have, for example, I don't know, really expensive brand, and then you ask people, why do you buy that product or service? Because it's so expensive and you can find much more cheaper products, for example, with the same quality. And researchers show that people actually buy emotions, and especially focusing on emotions and experiences work with free of charge products, free of charge services, actually what we do usually in the youth field. So yeah, number one, sell emotions and just think about what those emotions are in our case. Number two is be visual. And I know that you heard that many times and you can, I see from people eyes, yeah, be visual. Yeah, I know that I have to use visuals, videos and so on. But here I would like to share with you one interesting article about TikTok. And I'm sharing that link in the chat. I think so. I'm sharing in the chat the link about the article I wanted to share. And again, coming back to my presentation. Yeah. So during the first quarantine, TikTok launched a new hashtag category, Learn on TikTok. And somehow it is really successful. Here, many formal education and non-formal education organizations or institutions came in, also learning platforms. And I start thinking that it's almost impossible to reach out young people with written communication, like news items, blogs, text, and so on. That is longer than 2 paragraphs. And here videos and podcasts come. And what is interesting with videos, I don't know, maybe just from my experience, but then I started working in communication. I always had, and I still have, this approach that when we talk about videos, you have to be like you have to produce really quality in the content. But actually talking about young people, it's not right. There are 2 different things that is important to bear in mind. For example, when we talk about Instagram, we have the same channel and we have absolutely different expectations, what young people expect to see on the feed, and also what their expectations are watching different stories. So for example, young people, it is already known from different analysis that they expect the best quality on the feed, meaning that if you post, I don't know, different illustrations, photos, they must be in a high quality, that visuals must be professional as you can and so on. But if you post something to stories, young people expect not quality, but reality, like what they can experience and see from daily basis. And I remember when I started, when we started with my team, like launching our Instagram channel, I was so aware of the quality, and it was so so not successful at all, because I noticed that we are not reaching out young people, and I didn't understand why. I noticed that those pages or those partners that take less about the quality, but more about content and different like catchy ways how to communicate through stories, they were much more successful. And this strategy stays with Instagram. So don't be afraid to show less quality with videos, especially if you are communicating to young people. If you talk about stakeholders, of course, you are not sending the video with, pixels and you cannot read anything with mistakes and so on. But actually, young people don't care a lot about quality in videos. And the same happens with TikTok. I don't know how many of you have TikTok or use for personal basis. I'm looking into videos. Nope. One hand, two hands. Okay. And how about, do you use that for personal basis or for organizations?
Personal.
Personal. Yeah.
Personal.
Personal, yeah. Actually, it's interesting because I use TikTok also for my personal interest, but it also combined with professional interests. And I was doing one strategy for one university in Lithuania, and I thought, oh yeah, we should use TikTok. And after research and analysis, I understood that, oh my God, all universities are already on TikTok, and it's already late and anything new about that. And now I see that many institutions, like, I don't know, national broadcasters, they are all on TikTok. And if some analyses say that the TikTok is more for young people, I believe that everyone can find their target groups on TikTok, because I started following seniors, like elderly people, who give advice how to make the best soup in your life, and they are very good at it. So yeah, and it's interesting how two challenges are combined in one place, because I believe it is quite a challenge, to produce or explain what you are doing in, I don't know, 30 seconds, 1 minute, for example, with e-participation. But now we have two challenges. One challenge is that we have to talk about selves in 15 seconds, because that's what TikTok and Instagram examples show. And on top, there is another challenge, that we have to engage the audience on the same 15 seconds. So it's really interesting, but it's what we should follow from the trends and good practice examples. So yeah, less quality, more videos. And I also could add that podcasts would work here too. Yeah. Number 3 would be peer-to-peer approach. I believe it's pretty much the same what we do here in OPIN community. I don't know, I heard about peer-to-peer approach in the youth field, and for me it's nothing new. But what I noticed from marketing world, I was attending a conference at the beginning of the year of Hotsuit. I'm not sure if you know, but it's an omni-channel platform that offers different marketing and communication solutions for different clients, usually for companies, and it's a worldwide known platform. And they make 4 sites, and the 4th site for Facebook and especially for LinkedIn is that every company should use peer-to-peer approach. What does it mean? That, for example, it's not necessary to have a really strong professional, your own channel, but it's worth to have those people that could share among themselves different recommendations, experiences, and so on. And here, I believe that we are winning because we already are in youth field. We can approach young people. We already have them in our organizations or focus groups and so on. And it's really not necessary to think about your channels, but rather think about how to empower those young people to share the content that you would like to share with young people by yourselves. So for me, it's rather thinking how to work with young people and what skills they need and knowledge, for example, to talk about e-participation or advantages that it gives for young people, that we would feel comfortable to talking about e-participation rather than thinking how to communicate about e-participations ourselves. And it's really it's a connection between the tip number 4. The key word here is map the right channels. And here, what I noticed from my practice working in a youth field, that usually with new projects, with new initiatives, we really rush to launch our new channels like Facebook page, Instagram, websites. We are creating websites. For example, we as Creativitas, as a communication partner, we are usually forced to launch a website because it's written in application and so on. But actually the number 1 recommendation and advice from us is not to launch new websites if, for example, you don't have a capacity or will in the future to work on that channel. So it's not necessary to have your own channel or to launch, for example, a new Facebook page, because still Facebook is quite universal page for universal channel, sorry, for different audiences. But it's better, for example, sit down and think about our organizations, maybe that have strong channel with a huge audience. For example, one partner can have a huge audience on Facebook. Another one can have nice reach on Twitter and so on. For example, I talked about TikTok, but I don't mean that you have to create your TikTok page, but actually I would like to see that with e-participation or something like that. But it's rather sitting and mapping different channels. And here, for example, peer-to-peer education, peer-to-peer approach for young people also can be a channel itself. If, for example, we talk about, this term comes from Instagram, about influencers, micro, and so on. And now what we see that, for example, brands from marketing, they are usually looking at this moment at micro influencers, those people that starts with, for example, 1,000 fans, 1,000 followers on Instagram. And what I noticed that usually young people, like teenagers, they have at least 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 and so on. They already start working as normal influencers in cooperating with brands and so on. It's the best channel that you can have. So like really, it is making a partnership or inviting young people to discuss what you do, offering, I don't know, learning opportunities in your organizations or something like that. In one organization, what we did with young people, we understood that we need them because they have that knowledge, they understand what young people really like. So what we offered, 1 day or 1 month internships in our organization to try different things, and like that exchange their capacity as a channel to communicate to young people. So it was worth it, believe me. We also promoted our organization. So why not? Maybe it's an idea. And number 5 is involve young people into not just the processes or activities, but also into the communication or thinking and planning communication. And I would like to share here one example. I hope not to close the Zoom again. Yeah, and here I'm going to share a video, so please let me know if you can hear the sound. Can you hear? Yeah. Okay, what do you think about this commercial? What you noticed?
The first tip that you said, sell emotion.
Yeah, emotions. But
and you can't do it alone.
Yeah. Actually, the reason, the main reason why I was sharing this commercial, you noticed that this commercial is for Adidas, yeah? But it's not professional one. It's not produced by Adidas company. It is produced from the first year student, a young person. And these huge brands have this practice that they are not launching, I don't know, they don't have like open calls, create for us a commercial or something like that. Just people feel really strong connection to these brands, and time to time they create like different videos, campaigns, and so on. But these brands have the practice that if they like, they pick one and also use as their own commercial, of course, giving something to those people that created. And for me, the message is here, the main message is that involve young people into the task that you are feeling lost. So for example, from my really personal experience, I remember like 7 years ago, I used to be a national coordinator for Eurodest Lithuania office. And we decided, okay, that we need to launch our Instagram channel. But personally, I didn't use Instagram at all. I was the last person that started using Instagram in my organization and so on. And I really didn't understand why me as a manager that always pays the problem about the budget should invest in that stupid Instagram channel. And look, things change very fast. So what I did at that moment, that I thought, okay, me as a manager, I cannot spend my time and money working on Instagram because I don't understand, I don't know. And I feel that I am more about quality, but quality doesn't work on this channel. So what we did with our team, we gave this task for our young journalists, young volunteers to come up with a strategy that Eurodest Lithuania should use communicating through Instagram channel. They worked like I don't know, 2 weeks, but they made a plan for 1 month. And actually with a little, with a small corrections, we came up with a plan, with a strategy how to use Instagram. And actually we gave that platform for our young journalists to use, just time to time monitoring like small boundaries and lines that are already for us too much or too funky, let's say. But that's how things work. And now I try to exercise this activity too. For example, if I feel that I am already a little bit overcomplicated with strategies or tactics I produce, especially for the youth field, I usually invite like an organization, hey, maybe you can give me young people, let's make a focus group, and just it's interesting and useful to hear what young people think. And usually they are much better than professional communications specialists. So yeah, that's 5 tips from my side. But maybe you have other tips to share with me, with others, or I don't know, raise some questions.
Yeah, maybe let's start with a round of questions. Maybe the participants didn't quite understand something or have a question to you directly, Ingrida.
Kati? Yeah.
So you gave us a lot of tips. Thank you for that. That was really cool and nice. And but do you have a no-go that you say, okay, you can do this and that, but please don't do this thing?
Yeah, one thing mentioned that please don't launch new channels, especially if you don't have finances and human resources. But if you feel that you really need to launch, for example, TikTok, so maybe then join other tips like involve young people and give a place and space for young people to create a content, to play and so on. When you involve young people, it's really important not to kill their ideas, because it's the way they lost motivation, and they don't want to have anything to do with your organization, with your field and so on, because they think that they are old, smart uncles and aunties, that they are not caring about us at all. Yeah, and then actually maybe the sixth tip would be don't be afraid to fail and try different things, because if you are failing and someone is contacting you that look, that visual is awful and what you are doing, we have these examples with different projects that, for example, we as Creativitas launch templates for partners and so on, and then partners start playing, and that playing ends like something not really on the right corner, and we had those situations. Then young people text our partners that, what are you doing? But actually it's a good sign, because you already attracted attention, and it's the space and place to come back on track. Yeah.
May I, about the quality, you mentioned that you have to sometimes give away quality, but when it comes to peer education or peer engagement. So if I paraphrase it correctly. So, but how do you manage nevertheless, how do you manage the delivery so the content stays at the minimum threshold of, you know, of benchmark that you have, if you know what I mean. There's that sometimes the content, if it's not properly delivered, can be also damaged, right? I mean, So how did you manage that in your experience to working with young people?
Actually, it really depends on the channel. For example, as I said, if you're creating something for Instagram, and for example, also involving young people, we always ask that if you are going to share on the feed, we have to go with the quality, and we have to explain young people why it's the quality question. If we are talking about videos like stories, TikTok, or even, I don't know, well, Facebook, for me, it's really hard to understand the reality of Facebook now, because it's so full of if I can say, shitty things and shitty quality, with I don't know, with conspiracy theories, but also with technical quality and so on. So I cannot be here strong, like, I don't know, you have to show your best quality on Facebook and so on. It really depends, for example, on different features. If you talk about events, then I would say that it's not the question, you know, about the quality, but how to manage these things. And there should be agreements and lines. For example, okay, if we are communicating to Instagram and Facebook, we have to use these templates, and it's a more coordination question. So I would say that it's a coordination question and agreements, where is the freedom that people can do whatever they want to, with the quality they can have, create and so on, and what doesn't work for us. If I answered your question, not sure.
I have one question. For instance, if we are trying to involve students from a high school, we are doing it through professors. Do you have any other tip how to involve them so the like a lot of them participate?
Particularly on Instagram, or not necessary?
Not necessary. Why? What would you suggest to use?
I believe that challenges work. Then people have to pass a challenge for others. It can be individual tasks, it can be group tasks if people are shy, but you know, it's really important to understand the audience. Are they active people that like to show up, or not necessary? So yeah, but we have one project, international one, I would say worldwide, and we try to make a challenge on TikTok. So it's not already implemented, but yeah, we gave that idea for young people, and they said that, yeah, finally something interesting. So they themselves, they decided that they are going to use Instagram and TikTok doing different challenges. So like take a photo, not a photo, but take a movement in different places of the cities, because it's about this learning in different cities. So yeah, I would say that try challenges. Yeah, because it's engaging, and it works on different channels. Yeah, and maybe, I don't know, like giving a prize or giving learning opportunities, as I mentioned, internships, or making partnerships with, I don't know, companies or something like that, that it would give an award and motivation to participate in. So yeah, competing and awards are the best ones.
Thank you.
Cool. I think there are already quite a number of questions that you answered. I'm wondering whether we should, at this point, go into little breakout sessions for a moment, so we can discuss all these new ideas in little groups. And what we could do is, Owen will put you in breakout sessions, and then you can think about what you found most surprising, and also brainstorm just very briefly together how you could translate one of these tips, or maybe two of them, into your actual work. And then we could discuss this in smaller groups, so everyone gets to meet each other a little more. Okay, everyone's coming back, I think. Great. I think we have 5 more minutes. And I hope you got to talk about Ingrida's fierce and fearless tips a little bit, because that's what I'm taking from you, Ingrida, actually, that you really need to be fearless and just take the courage and don't be a control freak, but just let things flow. And I think that's a very, very good thing to take away from this meeting. And but I would still like to ask you, did you have any important questions that popped up in the breakouts that you want to ask Ingrida in the last minutes? Anything that her expertise is needed for? Okay, I don't think so. Well, because then I will just jump back into the presentation. Okay, and yeah, Ingrida is sharing her email address again in case you want to send her a message. Okay, I'm sharing my screen once again. Okay, yeah, we've seen the input. We've dealt with questions and answers, and then there is one last thing I would like to ask you, because here we've got this link, and maybe Owen can also put it into the chat. And we have a little Padlet there where we always try to collect what you learned, but also what you want to learn from the community meetings. And this is super helpful for us, because it's a way for us to find the right topics that we can discuss here. And as I said earlier, these meetings are here for peer-to-peer exchange, so it really matters what you want to discuss. So yeah, I'd be very grateful if you could just put your feedback and your questions in there, and then we will take that into account. And there's also
the password is participation.
Oh yeah,
to access the
yes. Can you also put that into the chat so everyone has it? And then we have the Open Community Forum, which is sort of the general foundation of this peer-to-peer exchange, where we can post questions and they will be answered by the community and by the DIGY partners who are all in this very busy process of conducting their own e-participation projects. So there's a lot of energy in the project at the moment, so people are really eager to get into discussion. So that's a place where you can ask questions and find answers, and also share your expertise, of course. And then one last thing, if you have any questions, you can email us at community@open.me, and you can also sign up for the online meeting newsletter, basically, where we send out mailings about the open community. And the next meeting will also be announced through those mailings, and we will meet here again, and we will send out a mailing with the date and the topic. But it's not set in stone yet what we will be discussing next time. Okay, and yep, I think that was it for today, at least from my side. I'm super happy to have seen so many new faces, and I hope to see you again when we will be discussing another interesting topic. All right. Stop this so I can see you one last time. Any other questions? Otherwise, I would wish you a lovely day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.